Biaheza. You probably know his name, and it's probably the reason that you're watching this video right now. You've seen him all over YouTube for being the king of side hustles, Instagram growth hacker, and even former crypto scam artist. But under this incredibly family-friendly face and an excitable young entrepreneur is really a man on a mission. And that mission is to make some money. And what better way to make some money than selling a course? Which I think is no problem at all. I have my own program called Ecom Remastered, but I think that there's gonna be a major difference between the two. Overall, courses and mentorships that are done correctly can be extremely valuable. And Biaheza recently revamped his entire Shopify dropshipping course so that it's up to date with 2023 strategies, and it's heavily focused on TikTok advertising. What's actually funny about me making this video is that Biaheza is actually one of the first people I started watching dropshipping when I first started back in 2018. I'm a 7-figure full-time dropshipper and have been doing it for almost 5 years now. So making this video, it's really coming to a full circle. I mean, even look at this DM I sent him back in October 20th of 2019. The message was delivered and I got no response. But today, I'm here to purchase Biaheza's new course, watch it in its entirety, and then give my honest feedback. Biaheza, I hope you take this $294 and spend it wisely. All right, logging onto the website here, I can see that it's $294 to enroll in this course. Exactly how I started a multi-million-dollar business from my bedroom. The last course update shows May 20th of 2023, so it's super recent. All right, let's see what we're actually gonna learn. Features of the course, these are just a bunch of sales and screenshots. This is the most important part here, which is the course curriculum. It looks like it's based on 4 main pillars, but we also have an intro, everything else, and then bonus content. Reading over these pillars, they all look really good. It looks like the fundamentals and exactly how to start up your store and maybe some case studies. But what I found interesting was one of the last videos I watched of his, and he was talking about his course. He was saying that his course is based on facts and what's worked for him. And he was saying that his course wasn't really based on theory like a lot of gurus sell, which I found kind of interesting because within e-commerce, it's never A plus B equals C. There actually is, in my opinion, a lot of theory involved. It all is case by case and really dependent on how you're looking at e-com in general. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that, but I'm interested to see how he's approaching this all together. It looks like he's covering everything that you kind of need to set up, and you don't really have to sell me on this because I'm going to be purchasing it right now. So all right, and we're in. Honestly, I don't know exactly what I can show from this course. There's no way I can show the videos because those are probably intellectual property. But once I logged in here, we got a nice screen, Biaheza, library, and then the full course where you can view your product. Okay, not super impressed with the background or anything here. I think that there could have been a little bit more customized content in here, but hey, it's all about what's actually in the course and the value that you get out of it, not this front-facing kind of stuff anyway. So let's go into the course, hit view product, and see what it's all about. All right, so this looks like pretty much every single thing that was already listed on his website in terms of, the pillars that he's gonna cover, how to fulfill orders, everything else. It looks maybe like 1, 2, 3. It looks like there are 44 videos in total, but what I did notice right off the bat is at the very bottom here, it's bonus content. The bonus content is stuff from his previous course, so it's already been done. So let's just call it like 38 new videos, which is actually a lot of content. So I think that's gonna be a lot to actually go through. This is probably gonna take me a lot of time, if not multiple days. So I'm gonna get right into it now and I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, as we were watching a montage of me watching Biaheza's videos, I think it's the perfect time to thank today's sponsor of the video. Whether you're looking for winning products, looking for an ad spy tool, or you're looking to automate and fulfill all of your orders, AutoDS is the one-stop shop. They added a couple new features with their marketplace where they're actually now supplying products to customers. So you can go on the marketplace section and look through the winning products that they have ready to ship out from their warehouses. This will allow you to get faster shipping times. And if you don't find a product that you want to sell on their marketplace, you can just manually import it from AliExpress, Amazon, wherever. Another new feature that they have is the TikTok spy tool where you can actually look at ads that are performing very well right now. You can use them for inspiration and just to see how other people are advertising the product that you want to sell. Now, my personal favorite feature of AutoDS is the auto fulfillment. So all you have to do is go into your settings, go into buyer accounts, hit add account, upload all of your supplier details, whether it's from AutoDS or it's from somewhere like AliExpress, put in your payment method, hit the settings for it. So how many orders that you want to max out per day. Don't really recommend having a max out because you want to have them order it every single day. I absolutely love this feature because it's going to save you so much time instead of manually fulfilling all of your orders. And your time is precious if you're running a business, so you want to take as much back as possible to reinvest back into your business and other important things. They have so many great features on here, like automations where you can set automatic price adjustments. So you can essentially set it up where it says when number of sales is higher than 10 per day, then increase the price by 10%. And when they start to dip down below 8 per day, let's say, decrease the price a little bit. That way it'll automatically adjust your price day over day to find that perfect sweet spot with the highest conversion rate. And AutoDS will automatically add all tracking numbers back onto Shopify so the customer knows exactly where the package is and they don't have to reach out to you via email to see where the package is at. Now, if you want to try AutoDS completely for free for 30 days, I'll have a link down below in the description. So shout out to AutoDS, let's get back to the video. All right, so I actually finished the course. And so technically I graduated from Biaheza University, congrats to me, but I did cheat a little bit. I cheated because I watched it all in 2x speed. I guess that's not really cheating, but I sped it up. But nonetheless, I cranked out the entire course. And there were a lot of things that I liked about the course, and there were a couple things that I thought were missing. But as promised, let's dive right into it. First, everything that Biaheza covers in this course is very matter of fact. But I can't really get mad at him for this because he does say in a YouTube video that there's like no theory-based topics, I guess, in any of his courses. But I do think that's lacking a little bit because it leaves you with unanswered questions, right? Like, well, what happens if my ads perform this way? What if they perform this way? There was no like analytical dive into what actually you should be looking for in the metrics and things like that. And I know that's hard to do because not everything's A plus B equals C. There are a lot of variables that you have to test. But I do think talking about these theories is really important, or at least showing scenarios that don't work out and how to fix them and what you'd be like digging into to try to, make them better or make all the puzzle pieces fit. Overall, a lot of the videos are on the shorter side. I think the longest one was only like 20 minutes, maybe even less. And a lot of them are actually him just talking about dropshipping and how it works or how TikTok ads work. And then also a lot of the videos were screen recordings that he kind of walks you through step by step. But let me give you the best summary that I can. I'm not going to review every single video in the course because a lot of them are pretty self-explanatory, like the first video of how dropshipping works. Self-explanatory, just explains how dropshipping works. But I wrote down some notes and some highlights of things I liked and didn't like. I do like his take on outsourcing. He basically says that you should be doing everything yourself in the beginning, and I really agree with this. Since you're playing every role in the business, you really should learn how to actually complete every single role and do it well. Because if you outsource it, you're not going to actually know if that person did a good job because you have nothing to compare it against and you don't have any successful campaigns under your belt. So it's kind of hard to outsource something that you don't know if it looks good or not, right? So I do really agree with doing everything yourself in the beginning, at least learning the bare bones of it. And then later on, you can outsource things as time goes on, right? He also goes over the winning product checklist. There's slight differences between what he thinks is winning product and what I think is winning product, but there's actually a good amount of overlap. So in his 9-point winning product checklist, it's kind of things like, can you find it easily in Walmart? Is it a problem-solving product? The typical things for the most part that I agree with, but I do have slight differences in terms of what I think what a winning product is. I think winning products really come from winning marketing angles. And he doesn't really talk about that too much, but I think that the more marketing angles that you can find in a product, the more chances that you actually have of having that product become successful. Because you can test a bunch of different markets with a bunch of different marketing angles. I use this example all the time for marketing angles. You know that mini fridge that people use for their skincare? The marketing angle for this winning product that popped up like what, in 2018, which is turning an existing product, which was just the mini fridge, using the marketing angle that it's for your skincare products, and boom, a whole new product essentially is created. And those sell really, really well. So that's the importance of marketing angles. I didn't like that wasn't covered in there, but he does cover the basics of like what you should be looking for in a winning product in general, especially as a beginner, because it is sometimes harder to come up with a bunch of different marketing angles. We both have a big emphasis on upsells, and it seems like we both have been selling in lower ticket areas. He looks like he's selling anywhere from like $15 to $75. I usually stick around the $15 price range. And having this emphasis on upsells is a really good idea to do because it's not only going to increase your average order value, you're going to save on shipping and increase your margins. I totally agree with that, and he also covers general stores not being the move nowadays versus niche or one product stores. I definitely agree with that as well. I think general stores, like he was saying, are just kind of like random and all over the place. The products look weird on there. It's just not as converting as a niche store or a one product store. And then he basically picks a product and then you kind of build a website together. So when he goes into building the website, we go on Shopify, build out the website. We first build the homepage, then the product page, and then a couple things on the back end. I thought this was a little bit too short personally. He kind of just goes through it really fast and doesn't really explain all the settings, which I do think are pretty important. In Shopify, there are a ton of settings on the left side and you can click all those drop downs and go into different pages. And there's a bunch of stuff there that I think is pretty important. So in terms of building the Shopify website, I think it was a little bit too quick and I don't know if there was enough information on it. I know it does take a lot of time. I've made a full step-by-step video on this exact thing and it's like an hour and 40-minute video. So there is a lot to cover in it, but that's on my YouTube, by the way. And I know that there's a lot to cover in it and he maybe didn't want to do that or didn't think it was important, which is fine, but it is something that I think people should know. And of course you can figure it out yourself and play with the settings and stuff, but I think it's still nice to have as a resource. Then after we kind of like recap the entire store build, we go into pillar 3, which is more getting the content for the advertisements and real advertisements that we're making together essentially, which I think he does a good job with. He kind of just shows how he like outsources the ads and creates ads for TikTok and that they need to be native to the platform, which I totally agree with. And then we go into like TikTok organic a little bit, touches on it slightly, not really any strategies too much involved with that, but it is kind of straightforward. After that, we go into pillar 4, which is kind of like how TikTok ads work and sets it up. Now in this section is probably the most valuable in certain ways besides the store build. And I do like that he goes straight into the TikTok ad platform where you can see a screen and do like a walkthrough setup with him. It's like walking through what kind of campaign objective you want to have, which is conversions, any interest targeting, and then ad creatives, and then putting them into the thing or uploading them with ad copy and all that stuff, right? So it's straightforward. And I did like that he mentioned testing interest targeting against broad. I really like to go broad, especially after iOS 14 update. And I'm not totally against interest targeting. I do think that it can be beneficial in certain niches, but I do like that he touches on both because broad is very powerful right now. One thing that he doesn't cover that I think is actually really, really important is UTM parameters. So after the privacy update with iOS 14.5, which I just mentioned, it made it really hard to actually track purchases on websites through pixels still, right? Back in 2017, it was almost like 100% tracking, right? So you could see like how much you spent and exactly how many purchases you had, how many add to carts. And now it's not necessarily like that because of that privacy update. So I think having UTM parameters really, really helps with that. And UTM parameters, if you don't know, are basically just lines of like text, I guess, at the end of URLs that help you track it better on the back end in Shopify. I do think that's really important to talk about and mention because if your attribution with your pixel is not tracking correctly, you might spend $100 and it says you got 3 sales, but in reality you had 6. And if you're running like 6 campaigns, how are you gonna know which ones to turn off or not profitable or adjust? So I do think that's a really important thing that was missed. And again, he doesn't really go too much into the analytical side of like figuring out how to fix things. But again, this is a beginner course. And then we go into like dealing with disapproved ads and how to like, avoid that problem, scaling and TikTok ads in general, like horizontal versus vertical, which I think is good. And he gave some good definitions on. And then he touches briefly on other forms of social media marketing, such as Facebook and Instagram. He really, really puts an emphasis on TikTok, which I don't necessarily agree with. I do think Facebook and Instagram are king still. They have the best data. They give me the highest conversion rates. I think TikTok is a little bit lower on the conversion rate spectrum. It does not mean that you can't have success with TikTok. It's just what works for me. And everyone's product and demographic is different. So, and this is focused on TikTok ads in the course. So, I understand that. And then it goes into like how to fulfill the mass orders, using de-essers in general. And then it seems like a really big Zendrop ad, I would say. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos on Zendrop alone. I don't blame him if it's sponsored. I have a sponsor in this video, obviously. Zendrop is a fine alternative to AliExpress. De-essers was mentioned in there as well, which is fine for fulfilling orders. He did touch on 3PLs and, having inventory yourself, but not too much on like the in-between, which is like an agent. I do think that was like an important thing to cover, at least mention of like how it works and like what's a forwarder or manufacturer in terms of suppliers, which of course I have a video on YouTube for. So check that out after if you want to know about that. And then you pretty much get into everything else and then the bonus content. So the bonus content is everything from his previous course, which is, it's relevant, but it's not as updated, obviously. And then everything else is like taxes and legal. And it's basically like, we can't really talk about that because we're not tax professionals and I understand that. And then a conclusion. All in all, finished the course, gave you a review. It's $294. I think that's a fair price for the content you're getting. I like the course in general. I like him as a person. I love his videos. I think that for a complete beginner, this is really, really good. It's put together and edited well. There are some things in this course that he definitely misses that I think are important, but you can't cover everything because there's so many things in e-com in general, right? I think if you are a complete beginner and you don't want to scour the internet or watch a bunch of different YouTube videos, I think he consolidates it all for you and then you're paying that premium of $294 and learning from the same person. But you could essentially learn all of this stuff on the internet. So basically, if you want to save time and have it all consolidated, pay the $294. And if not, you can scour the internet or watch some of my YouTube videos, keep plugging that in there. But all in all, it's a good course. If I was going to rate this course for the price against the content that he gives, at the price point of $294, I think I'm going to give it an 8 to an 8.5, which I think is a high score. I think it's a good course overall. It's great for beginners. There are some things that are missing. You can also learn a lot of this information online for free. And the biggest thing, here's the plug, the biggest thing that my program has that his doesn't is that we do coaching calls. So we do multiple coaching calls a week where it's like face-to-face on Zoom. And the difference there is that like, there's some things that he doesn't cover in this course and there's nuances that happen in e-com and dropshipping in general. It's like you hit this wall and you don't know how to get past it, or these analytics don't make sense to you and you don't know how to decipher them, like what puzzle piece should you adjust and what variables should you change. That's what like that face-to-face is good for, when you can bring your questions into our calls and then talk about them, share your screen, we'll go over it. I think that's really, really important if you're looking for a mentorship, but he's not selling a mentorship, he's selling a course, right? So it's inherently different, but it depends how much help you need, I guess, with starting out dropshipping. If you can pick it up quickly and you just want a consolidated course, Biaheza is great. If you want some more mentoring and actually like one-on-one time and a little above and beyond that, then join Ecom Remastered. No, I was trying as hard as possible not to plug my program and just do an honest review, but there's differences in it, and there's differences between every single mentorship and course, obviously. So Biaheza, if you're watching this was not made just to plug my program. I actually wanted to do this for a really long time now, but I've been traveling so much and I thought this would be the perfect time to do it. So that's my review of Biaheza's course in its entirety. I hope that gave you a little bit of an insight if you want to purchase this. And if not, just keep watching his videos, watch my videos and other creators, because there's a lot of good information out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and Biaheza, if you're watching this, reply to my DM. Kind of offended, man. But all jokes aside, big inspiration, great work, and keep it up.